What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to CRÜZR Radio episode 32. I am your host, Michael Brandon, and today I'll be joined with my co-host, Mr. Hunter Harris, and somebody that's returning back to the podcast, Mr. Terry Shores. On today's episode, we talk about boots, what's good for turkey season, what's good for deer season, what's a good four-season boot. We also talk about permission properties, who you should ask and how you should ask. And then last but not least, we also talk about some trailer park deer that Mr. Terry's been hunting for the last few seasons. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Got up this morning and went hunting before work, so it's been a long day already.
Dang. Oh, busy boy. Busy boy. How was the hunt?
Pretty good. Called a bird in, and my buddy that was with me, so there was like a sapling on the left-hand side, and there was a big tree on the right side, and he had stuck his gun between those two. And of course, the bird comes from the left, and he can't get his gun around the sapling to get the shot on it. So the battle was won by him this morning, but that's all right.
That's all right.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, the war's not over yet, right?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. You got any big plans going hunting this year? You going out of state or anything? I know y'all went down to Florida not too long ago.
Yeah, that was just an incredible trip, man. We seen tons of birds. We got to hunt on a private pea farm, and it was just loaded with turkeys. It was really it was a good hunt.
Nice. I don't know nothing about Florida hunting. Who were we talking to? Was it Jake that was down in Florida hunting? Was that who we were talking to?
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago. Yeah. What part of Florida were you guys in?
Kind of central Florida, a little bit further north central, but pretty close to central.
Okay.
Were y'all on public or private?
So the first morning we actually hunted public land. The guy that I met a few years ago when I was working at Academy, some guys were up here hunting from Florida, deer hunting, and they were actually hunting on the refuge, and it had closed. And they didn't realize it. And the game warden walked them in and got their stuff and everything. Didn't charge them with anything, so it was all good. But they came into Academy and were kind of trying to get some local knowledge on a place to go, and started talking to them. And after that weekend, they've been inviting me down to go turkey hunting, and finally just made it happen this year.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Man, I cannot tell you how many people, and I'm sure you've experienced the same thing, Hunter. I've ran into so many people, like at trade shows or people that just come into the office and they offer to take us on hunts, to go do these. Yeah. Like, I'll never forget this one guy. He was from Oregon. We were at, it was either NWTF last year or it was PA last year. I can't remember which show. Anyways, this guy's from Oregon. He's down. He literally just I think it was PA because he traveled just for the trade show.
All the way from Oregon?
All the way from Oregon.
Whew.
Yeah. But he traveled for work, so it was pretty normal to him.
Gotcha.
Anyways, the guy offered to take, because he was like a part-time bear guide or something. I think that's right. Yeah, maybe a part-time bear guide. He had some type of guide experience. I can't remember if he was actively doing it or previous life or whatever. Or a buddy, maybe. But he offered to take the entire CRÜZR team on a bear hunt.
So why ain't you got a bearskin rug?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
people tell us that all the time, though.
But it's exactly like what you said. You finally made it happen. It happen.
Just call their bluff, man.
Well, it's hard to shake free.
Don't threaten me with a good time, 'cause I will call you on it.
Yeah. Or like that guy I sold the oven to. He offered, I think he said, what did I say? He had like 70 acres or something.
Yeah, 60, 70 acres.
Yeah. Anyways, he's got way more land than I do. And he offered it to me. It was like 45 minutes away.
We just got to start holding people accountable.
Yeah, I think you're right, Terry.
The other morning at breakfast, my cousin's friend from PA, he's become one of my friends now. He came down and turkey hunted with me this past weekend, and we had a pretty successful morning, and we were at the local breakfast spot, eating, and two farmers come in, sit down at the table next to us, and you boys been hunting this morning? And yeah, and we got to talking about the hunt that morning, and he's like, yeah, I got turkeys come through my yard all the time. I was like, oh, cool, you want somebody to come shoot them?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I don't really have enough property for you to hunt on. And, he's going on about it. And I was like, man, these 5-acre spots, I've killed more turkeys on probably than anything. So, I'll take a 5-acre spot if there's turkeys there. And by the end of the breakfast, he's giving me his business card. And he's like, yeah, I've got 70 acres. And
70? He's got plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
he was downplaying himself.
Yeah. It was, he went from not wanting to give permission to, all right, I think this guy can hunt there. And so that worked out really well.
He's had to get to know you.
Yep.
Man, I'll tell you what, if anybody listening to this ever gets a chance to meet Terry in person, he is hard not to get along with.
Try it. He worked at our local academy, so literally everybody and their brother knows him.
Yeah. Terry's one of them good old boys.
Try it.
Yeah. Hey, that's it's the secret to getting the permissions, man.
You ever miss working at academy?
I missed the discounts.
Is that about it?
You probably missed the camaraderie too.
Yeah, for sure. But like most of the guys that I met doing that, I still talk to and hunt with.
Right.
So that part of it was awesome I'd almost, exceeded my friend limit. I was getting to the point where I was spreading myself too thin.
Had too many.
Too many people, you'll go hunting with them. And next thing you know, you're like, man, I ain't even got a day to hunt myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't have that problem. I don't have that many friends.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. I don't have that many friends. But
yeah, and this
I've got a small circle.
Well, that's you kind of need to anymore. One of the things that kind of got me on taking a lot of people hunting was people that would try to go get your permissions behind your back, and
oh yeah,
you just gotta kind of pick who you can trust to take to those places.
Yeah. I don't know how I would react if somebody, like, I took somebody hunting and then I mean,
I would be I'd be
upset.
Pretty angry, but I probably wouldn't say anything. I just would never go hunting with them again.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
That's pretty much the response I've given to it. Just keep it in the back of your mind, like they're never coming hunting with me again.
Right. Yeah. It's like if I leave my wallet on the table and you steal it, like, you're still my friend, but I'm never going to leave my wallet on the table in front of you again. Jeez.
Better man than I am.
Well, right on. What's been going on with you, Terry? What's new with you?
Oh, yeah. So like I said, this past weekend, a buddy of mine from Pennsylvania came into town, and we put a pretty good whoop down on the Tennessee turkeys.
Nice.
Friday afternoon, I got out of work and met him in town, and we went to a spot that I had got permission on through the store. And I had been there, a handful of times, coyote calling and stuff, and never really had any luck there. But I was like, well, let's go by there, see if we hear anything. It's on a river bottom. And finally got down there and got out of the truck. And as soon as I got out of the truck, I was like, man, I just heard a gobble. He was like, no, there ain't no way we heard a gobble already. And sure enough, that bird just started gobbling about every 30 seconds on his own. We hadn't even called to him.
Must be nice.
And I was like, all right, well, let's try to get up to the top of this ridge on this logging road, and we'll set up on him. Well, we get about halfway up that logging road, and this bird's gobbling inside 100 yards.
Oh, yes.
Like,
go time.
All right, well, maybe we need to stop here and call at this bird. So I've got 2 decoys with me and stuff, and we don't even have time to go out and put decoys out. So I'm hiding them in like this irrigation ditch on the side of this logging road, just like trying to cover them with leaves. And so I'm laying down on my stomach, and I'm holding the gun up. And the plan was, because it sounded like he was going to come from the left, so my buddy was going to cover the hill from the left if he came down that way. And I was like, well, there's a chance he could come down this logging road. I'll watch the logging road. So I'm laying on my stomach, and I'm holding my gun up for like 20 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
And this bird is just over enough of a knoll that you can't see him yet. But all you can hear is him spitting and drumming.
Right. He's right there.
Gobbling his head off.
Teasing you.
Like, you can hear his wingtips dragging through the leaves. Like, that's how close he is. And finally, my buddy, he says, all right, I can see him. And I'm like, all right, can you shoot him? He's like, no, he's coming down over the hill. And about that time, I look up to see him in full strut coming down over the hill towards the logging road.
Yeah, buddy.
I was like, all right. I clipped my safety off. As soon as he hit the logging road, just lights out.
Nice.
about 25 steps on him. So no decoy out or nothing, just calling at him a little bit, and it worked out awesome.
Heck yeah. What were you using to call them in?
So I started with the Steve Ranella Jake Break Meat Eater call.
Okay.
From Phelps. That's been my go-to diaphragm call this year, and my mouth call actually fell out of my mouth while I was laying on my stomach. So Seth worked him the rest of the way in, and it worked out great. But it was all diaphragm calls on that one.
Gotcha. Is that normally what you're using out in the turkey woods? Is diaphragm calls mainly?
Yeah, for a bigger majority of it, but I do always keep a pot call with me.
Mm-hmm.
I had been using the same Esh glass call since I've had it for at least 10 years. And this year I go to get it out and it's cracked down the middle. So that was pretty heartbreaking. And
Yeah.
I was getting ready to go to Florida, didn't have a pot call. Found out about a guy that's from here local that makes calls. And he's actually an active duty Marine stationed at Camp Lejeune. And he's from like the Carthage area, and his brother lives here locally, and he hooked me up with him and got a nice slate over glass white oak call. Thing sounds awesome. So that's
good deal.
Heck yeah. Dude, I don't know who makes my pot call. I don't know what brand it is. I know the pot call on the actual call itself. It says Rendezvous. I don't know what they make it out of. I was with Evan the other day. Went on my first turkey hunt of the season with Evan the other day, and I was having him call it out or try it out, and he couldn't get it to sound right. I think he just wasn't holding the striker right. But anyways, he grabbed his scratch pad or whatever it is to condition the call, and I had my back turned to him whenever he had pulled it out, and I turned around just in time for him to like start to condition that call. And I was like, no. He's like, what? He's like, it's not sounding right. You gotta condition your call. I was like, no, not that one. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know the guy who sold me that said to never condition it. So I don't know. I have no idea what it's made out of. Rendezvous is the
like model name.
Is the model name. I don't know who makes it, but dude, that call, I absolutely suck at making a turkey call, like making it sound real, making it sound good. I don't care if it's box call. I don't care if it's, what do you call them, trombones? What do you call them?
Trumpets.
Trumpets, yeah. I always call them trombones. Trumpets or pot calls. Like, it don't matter, especially a diaphragm call. Oh, my gosh. I'll make every noise possible except for a turkey with a diaphragm call. But, dude, that call, it was like,
Sounds good.
It took no effort. There was like no learning curve for me. It just worked. And it sounded.
The call chose you, buddy.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm the chosen one.
When it fits, it fits.
That's right.
I'm the chosen one for the rendezvous call. No, but I mean,
pulling the sword out.
Yeah. Pulls out the striker in the middle of the stone. Ooh, that'd be a funny bit. We should do that. Yeah. We should make like a little funny video of us good. Like pulling a striker out of a stone, like it's King Arthur.
That would be pretty funny.
We'll have you, Terry, come get it, and then we'll have like some 5-year-old pick it out of the stone.
Sounds about right.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was on Friday evening after I got out of work. We killed that bird. Saturday was tough. Like, I went to a property that I know is loaded with birds. Couldn't get anything to gobble.
Well, they weren't talking this weekend very much.
Man, like, so Saturday was just tough. So we ended up going around to the top part of the property where later on things got exciting. But we walk up to the top of this point. Seth lets out a call. These birds gobble, and they are inside 50 yards. Like, they're just over the knoll. We barely out of sight.
They're in the kill zone.
Yeah. So we turn around and try to set down. And before we can even set down, 2 longbeards are at 10 yards. And, of course, we get busted. And then that bird, like I said, they gobbled when they were right there at us, and then they gobbled one more time as they went down the hill, And then we went back around to the bottom. He gobbled one more time, and that was the only 3 gobbles we heard that day. And we hunted basically until dark that day. So it was
Friday?
just tough. Yeah, no, that was Saturday.
Saturday.
So
Saturday.
Sunday, we decided to go back to the ridge where we got busted at.
Mm-hmm.
And we walked a little bit further out that ridge. I'm owl hooting. Nothing's gobbling. We're like, man, this is just depressing.
It was kind of windy Sunday.
Yeah, well, about that time, though, a crow flies over and caw, caw. As soon as he does, this one bird gobbles, and it just starts a gobble. I mean, the whole holler. Like, it was one of the most amazing mornings of turkey gobbling that I've heard. Like, it was just
beautiful.
One bird would start at one end of the holler, and it would go all the way up, at least 7 or 8 different birds gobbling.
So you just had to pick one and go to him.
Well, they were close enough that we didn't have to go anywhere.
Even better.
Yeah, so where we had set up at on this logging road, we could see a ridge about 100 yards away from us, and Seth's doing the calling, and he calls, and I look up, and I can see about 100 yards away 4 longbeards strutting. And I'm like, oh, man, here they come. We're going to double this morning, like this is about to be awesome. Well, those 4 birds find some hens on that ridge, and they stay over there strutting with these hens.
Stupid birds.
And they're chasing these hens back and forth, and we're kind of getting a little discouraged because they're over there gobbling their heads off, but they've got hens with them, so they're not going to do anything.
Right.
Well, about that time, a 5th bird, a little bit over to our left, starts gobbling close. Well, there's a little swag below us, and every once in a while we can see this hen run up out of it towards us and run back and forth across the logging road and back down into that little swag. We're like, all right, like she's running around. Maybe we can convince him to come up here. Next thing we know, he's pushing that hen right to us. He was like, one girl just isn't enough today. Let's get this other one in here. And so he brings the hen right to us and gives Seth a perfect shot at about 40 yards. It was 46 steps, and ended his Tennessee chase for a gobbler with that. And both birds we killed were really nice birds, and just awesome weekend of hunting.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Was that it? Do you know if that was his first Tennessee bird or not?
It was his first Tennessee bird.
Got one before me.
So he hunts in New York and Pennsylvania and all that up there. So I mean, he's a pretty good turkey hunter.
I was fixed to say, a lot of your good turkey hunters come out of PA.
Really?
Lord, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. PA was like the turkey hunting spot when I was a kid.
Yeah, PA's loaded with turkeys.
I didn't know
well, not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore.
They killed them all, or what?
Well, West Nile came through, and I know it killed a bunch of like the ruffed grouse. So I'm assuming that's probably what did it to the turkeys too.
Gotcha. Now, is turkey season? Would you say that's your favorite season, Terry?
No, man. I'm a duck hunter.
Duck hunter.
Yeah.
Boo. Boo. Money pit.
Yeah. I mean, turkey hunting's pretty close, but, the way I look at duck hunting is, you get a 6-bird limit every day if you're lucky enough to do that. With turkeys, you can only shoot one a day, in Tennessee. And,
sure.
With ducks, I may get 3 or 4 chances to work birds and shoot at birds.
Okay.
So I get to do, I get to work 1 turkey a day. That's pretty good. I might get a chance to work 40 or 50 ducks.
Okay. I mean, yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's still unacceptable.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, yeah.
I don't know. We don't, you know how it is, Terry. Like,
I've never been duck hunting.
Middle Tennessee is not a super ducky. I mean, it's not ducky at all.
But, I have had the opportunity to go on some snow goose hunts. And when you've got
I'm sure that would be awesome.
Couple 100,000 bird feed that covers a 100-acre field, and it's just snow geese from one end of it to the other. And you come back in the next morning, and all of those snow geese come at one time and are over top you, and you can feel the wind off of their wings. And
I bet it sounds like a tornado.
Dude, it's one of the most amazing things you could ever witness while hunting.
Do you think, like I don't know, just like an average person who doesn't hunt at all, do you think that would be something they would
If you
be able to
don't get
witness,
hooked
like just
on
like
hunting by going on a snow goose hunt, there is no hunting out there that's gonna please you.
interesting. So you're saying if you don't find a snow goose hunt fun, you won't find any hunting fun?
You won't. You just don't like hunting. That's all there is
It's not
to it.
for you.
Now, a good snow goose hunt. Now, like if you end up on
What
like,
classifies as a good snow goose
one
hunt?
where you actually get to shoot at birds.
Oh, well, yeah, I'd say that'd probably be a good hunt.
Yeah, because sometimes you're on the spot the day before. This is where they were eating at, and that's where you're set up at. And then the next day they land 200 yards across the field, and not a whole lot you can do when 10,000 live birds land over there. Not a single bird's going to come to your spread.
Dang. And they do that?
Oh yeah. Or use the neighbor's field instead. It's just if you get lucky and they come back to the same field to feed in the same exact spot, and that's where you're at, you get to have a fun morning.
How many decoys are in the spread when you're on a snow goose hunt like that?
So the spreads that I've hunted with are around 100 dozen.
Holy, what? 100 dozen decoys?
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is. You're talking about showing up at, well, if you got a good guide, you
Holy
show up
crap.
and the field's already put out
Done,
for
yeah.
you, and all you do is sit in a blind and shoot at birds. I've been unfortunate to go on guided hunts that the guide doesn't show up until daylight, and you get there and there's not a single decoy out in the field.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so you spend the first 2 hours putting out decoys as birds are landing across the field, and yeah, so I mean there is perils to snow goose hunting, but a good snow goose hunt is hard to beat.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give it a shot.
Yep.
I don't know. Have you ever been on one?
No.
No.
I mean, I've heard not just from Terry, but I got some other buddies that are big into duck hunting and stuff.
Listen, I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try.
It's just so expensive.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Everything's expensive, but good Lord.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say. Is like one of the main reasons I haven't at least attempted to get into duck hunting yet is just the cost. It's just the cost.
You can do it as cheap or as expensive as you want to, just like with any other hunting, though. I mean, you can kill ducks with a $200 Mossberg Maverick 88. And, a half dozen decoys from Academy, and, a duck call from Academy, and a box of $20 steel shells. Like, you can go out there and I mean, find a spot where you can sit on the side of a pond. You don't even really have to have waders. But, waders would be the next thing to add to it. And, you can get a set of waders for, I've seen some on.
I do have waders.
Yeah, so see, you've already got like one of the biggest, most expensive parts.
Yeah, but there's good and bad.
Oh, mine are cheap. I bought them for fishing. They're also, I guarantee you, I would freeze if I wore those waders during duck season.
So they're uninsulated.
It's like a 200 gram insulation.
Oh no, you'd be fine.
Nah, you don't understand, Terry. I get cold so easy, it's not even funny, dog. It'll be 70 degrees outside, and my feet will be freezing cold.
That's what gets cold on me. I could be totally fine, but my feet freeze.
Yeah, and it's miserable. It's miserable. I know I'm not the only person that thinks that when your feet are cold, it's miserable. I would rather have any other body part be cold than my feet.
Yeah. Need you some darn tough socks, man.
Yeah, I got some of those. They are good.
Is that a brand?
Yes.
Yes.
Darn tough.
Made in Vermont, darn tough socks.
They're high,
What's
but they're good.
They're merino wool, and man, you can how when you buy these boots that have 1,400, 1,600 grams of thinsulate in them, the thinnest pair of socks you put on, your feet are going to sweat in those, and they're going to be colder than what they were if you had on a thin boot. But with the darn tough socks, it pulls all the sweat off your feet, keeps your feet dry, keeps them warm.
They are good. I got a pair of them.
You know what I experimented with this last last deer season was I put deodorant on the bottom of my feet.
Does it work?
And it worked awesome. It worked awesome. I can't remember what video I was watching. It was some dude camping in Alaska, something like that. Did you hear that? Anyways, yeah, no, it was some dude. It was some dude camping in Alaska, and like apparently this was like an annual trip for him or something like that. And that's where I got that tip from. And I was like, well, if it works for a dude in Alaska,
it'll work for a guy in Tennessee.
Yeah,
it'll work for a guy in Tennessee.
I think that the foot sweat is most of what makes your feet cold.
I guess that would make sense.
You saying it is?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the foot sweat's what makes your feet cold.
I thought I just had really bad circulation.
Ooh, that also reminds me. I also experimented with using compression socks. Compression socks underneath.
Like copper fit?
Yeah. Or just any compression socks. I just got mine from Academy. I don't know what the brand was, but they're like...
Probably that BCG, baby.
Probably, yep. They're just real high. Everybody knows what compression socks are, I'm pretty sure.
They're pretty comfortable.
Like
if you don't...
socks.
Yeah. If you don't, it just helps with the with circulation for your feet. Anyways, I knew about those from when I used to sell cars. I would stand out in the parking lot for 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, and obviously your feet will get sore and tired. And
what's your go-to boot, Terry?
Irish setters, man, the pinnacle.
The Pinnacle Irish setters.
Yeah.
Is that what you turkey hunt in?
Yep.
Insulated,
Yeah.
non-insulated?
Non-insulated, but they're like a 11-inch boot.
Gotcha.
And
Lace up?
lots of ankle support and good grip on them when you're hiking the hills and hollers chasing turkeys. I like a rubber boot if I'm hunting on flat ground, but when you're running the hills and hollers, man, I've got to have something with some ankle support.
Oh, I do too. I can't do. If I wear rubber boots, my feet get like sopping wet where they can't breathe.
I just can't stand the rash that it gives me from it constantly rubbing against my leg.
I personally think like muck boots are comfortable.
I've never owned any.
I want to try some of those lights.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm wanting to try those out.
They're extremely light.
They are
They
light.
look like they're made out of the same material as Crocs.
They are.
Yep.
They are a Croc that goes up to your knee.
Pretty much.
Okay.
They're cool. I use them mainly when I'm fishing, like creek fishing. But before like the water gets warm enough to where you can just walk in it.
I check cameras and put out salt and stuff with them.
Yeah. I usually just keep them in the back of my truck for like
me too.
in case I need them. I don't know. I've been on a couple of hunts with them, but like I said, any kind of rubber boot, like I've got like 3 or 4 pairs of rubber boots, and all of them give me like just an insane rash right on the side of my calf. That's like super tender. Like it causes pain when I wear pants after.
I want to get some like.
Maybe I just have.
I'd like to try some like Sheen or whatever they called Shanae, or
Sheen, yeah,
or Crispies or something good. But golly, man, I just can't. I ain't forking out $300 for a pair of boots.
Man, look on Sportsman's Guide. That's where I got my. That's where I got my.
Like a reseller.
From.
I got.
I'm not sure how it works exactly, but like it's always cheaper.
I got.
I wonder if it's like a liquidation store.
I got some Danner Vitals. I like them, but they're. I'm about 3 years in on them. They got some hot spots in them now. Kind of hurt my feet.
Is 3 years like average lifespan for a boot?
That's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I a pair a year if you use them for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I use mine for deer and turkey for sure. But I like them because they wear like tennis shoes. That's why I like them. They're extremely light.
That's what I've been looking at, those hover boots from Under Armour.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of Under Armour boots, I kind of want to try. I think it's Cameron Hanes' like signature boot or whatever with the boa buckle or whatever, where you like tighten it. It's like
the boa
I think
system.
Those are a pair of hovers.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay,
dude, the boa system is. Sweet.
I want to get, dude.
That's
I want to
what's
get
on
those.
these Pinnacles that I wear.
You have the boa?
Dude, it's.
Is
sweet.
it nice?
It is.
Does it come loose?
Man, like mine, that they have such a fine adjustment that you can adjust how tight you want your boot, which is pretty nice. Like when you tie your shoes, you always have them too tight or too loose.
Oh, dude, that
But,
drives
like,
me nuts.
With the BOA, like you get that perfect like tightness of your boot.
Yeah, because it's got like a little click function. It's like every
Yeah.
like quarter inch or something. I can't remember. All I know is I saw it and I was like, oh, they have that on hunting boots. I need to give it a shot. But when I was reading reviews on it, because I was in between those. Hang on, I think that's.
Yeah, those are the hovers.
Yeah, it was either that model or a model that looked really similar to it, and the ones that I ended up going with, which is the Vans MTE
Dude.
2s,
Yeah.
is what I ended up going with. OnCloud has some.
Bro, they just dropped them. I say they just dropped.
If anybody at OnCloud is listening to this, please send us a pair.
Size 13.
Well, yeah. Yeah, okay. Size 13. I'm a size 9, and then
I'll take a 10.
and then 10. Yeah. So if you're hearing this, we'll test it out for you. Don't worry. We'll let you know how good it is.
Yeah, like I said, man, I'm only getting a year out of a pair of boots. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, there you go. If your boot can beat a year, send
Well,
it to
everybody
Terry.
talks highly of the OnCloud tennis shoes.
Yeah, I'm wearing them right now. I love them. I love them. They've lasted much longer than most of the tennis shoes I buy, and these are waterproof. Like actually waterproof. I can submerge them and they're fine, which is impressive because I've
That's
had.
why I hate wearing tennis shoes, man. It rains and you walk across the parking lot, you got wet feet the rest of the
It's
day.
the worst. It's the worst. I would rather somebody punch me in the face than for my socks to get wet.
Agreed.
That's just a
Yeah.
fact of life, and I feel like 90%
Yeah.
of the population would agree with me.
Yeah, that's a valid statement.
I'm just saying, having wet socks is one of the worst feelings in the world.
Sucks, dude. The opening weekend, I literally took my socks off and rolled them up in my window while we were driving place to place.
Yeah, I had to come home the other day and change my socks. They got a little too wet. I walked across the creek and I got above the waterproof part of my boot, I guess.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I don't know. Those but yeah, those MTE2 van boots that I got, I think they're advertised as hiking boots. I've been wearing I wore those out like at the end of season for deer season. Wore them out in the turkey woods this year already. I've been on a couple hikes with them. They're holding up pretty good. I don't think they're advertised as being waterproof, but they do have like a Gore-Tex lining.
They got MT
MT
1s, 2s, and 3s.
Yes,
the 2s and 3s, I think you can get waterproof.
Well, I think the one is like their super basic model. It's just like a regular hiking boot. Their 2 has like a Gore-Tex lining on like the bottom half, so it's weather resistant. It's got like an extra layer of material on the outside as well, I think. And then the MTE3s, I'm pretty sure, come with more insulation in them and a full Gore-Tex lining so that they are waterproof. I could be wrong. All I know is I got the MT2s and that they're not fully
I
waterproof.
didn't even know Vans was making hiking shoes.
Dude, they
Check
look
those out.
good.
I didn't either. And then when I found it, because I was looking
I showed
for,
you, remember?
Yeah. Because we were at one of the shows. Anyways, when I found them, because I was looking for a pair of boots that I could wear on a day-to-day basis, and they would match whatever I was wearing. Anyways, that would look good on a day-to-day basis, be comfortable for a day-to-day basis, but could also be used in the woods as hunting boots. And I'm a Vans guy. I like Vans. And so when I saw they had a boot, I was like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. They've worked out pretty good so far. I think I've owned them for
You've had them for a little bit.
4 months-ish, 5 months. I don't know how long I've had them. Since like December, I think. Anyways, yeah, they're solid. So if anybody's been thinking about getting those, I can attest for them. Now I haven't like endurance checked them. I haven't had them that long. Haven't put them through their trials yet.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's gotta have a good pair of boots.
For sure.
I quickly realized that. So for the last 2 seasons, before I got these, I would occasionally wear rubber boots out. But I was mainly wearing these North Face hiking shoes that I got on like some kind of clearance.
They're They're known for jackets, bro.
Yeah, though, dude, those shoes sucked. I gotta be honest. They were terrible since day one. And I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a break-in period. That's it. They're just uncomfortable because they haven't been
You
broken
just
in.
never broke them.
Dude, after 2 years, they still sucked. There was nothing I enjoyed about those shoes. Not one thing. The shoelaces always came undone. I always had hot spots. Like, the traction sucked on them. Like, I was slipping on hills that weren't even that. Like, dude, I don't know who designed that shoe, but they should be fired.
Yeah, that's like Hunter said, stay with the jackets.
They do have awesome jackets. Their
They do
jackets
have
are
some awesome
top tier.
jackets.
Their jackets are absolutely top tier. Could you imagine if North Face came out with like a camo line, like they did like a cross
I am
collaboration?
really
with like,
surprised that they have it, unless they're
Man,
like
like-
anti-hunting.
oh, they
have
might
you
be.
seen the Patagonia that they've got in camo?
No,
Yeah, I can never find it in my size.
Patagonia camo. Hang on.
Yeah, it's kind of like a woodland camo, but
Mhm.
still just you don't see Patagonia in camo.
Yeah, I thought they like as a company they were against hunting. But
Has anybody ever worn any Merrell?
Merrell, yeah, I've had some Merrell shoes before. So
they
what I
pretty good?
used to wear quite a bit when I was working in the stores. They're good for walking on concrete all day.
Did you see Patagonias?
yeah, no, I didn't. To be honest with you, I just kind of Google searched it. It wasn't the first thing, so I gave up. Just being lazy. Listen, dude, I'm running on little to no sleep today. It feels like.
Oh yeah, that's
It's-
I was turkey hunting at 5 o'clock this morning, so
Yeah.
I
No.
feel you.
You're definitely running on less sleep than I am. Then. I mean, not by much. I got up at 6. Which, by the way, up top, actually woke up on time today.
Nice.
First time for
I know.
everything.
Yeah, there's the first time for everything. I came into the office this morning, and it was like, I don't know, it was like 8:20. And I looked at Hunter. I was like, well, I did it. And Hunter looks at me. He's like, what are you talking about? He looks at the clock. He goes, holy crap, you're here 2 hours early.
He's it takes him a little while to get going in the morning.
Yeah, man. I'm like a steam engine. It takes a while for it to get cranking.
Who's Buck's that back there with the hat on?
Did we
It's-
ever give this thing a name?
Daryl.
Daryl. That's right. Old Daryl here. I'll let you tell the story, Hunter.
There's really not much of a story, to be honest with you. My dad mounted it a long time ago, but we're not sure whose it was.
It's a mystery buck.
It's a mystery buck.
Oh.
It's older than the hills.
Could be fake. I doubt it.
X-ray it.
I'm pretty sure
X-ray
it's
it.
still
Do you think that's a thing?
what?
Fake deer mounts?
Well, they
Like
use
replicas?
Finch Rompola.
Huh?
Isn't that who it is? The Rompola buck?
Oh, it's definitely fake.
Rumble. Oh, yeah. No, you cannot convince me that thing's real.
No, it's not. It's fake. 100%.
After, man, because that was like supposedly the world record buck, and the guy, like,
Dude,
they
it
would
don't
like,
even look.
they offered to get it tested or measured or whatever and
I
get
thought
it
they-
tested.
I thought they
and he
proved that
refused.
yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah,
the
all he
case?
has to do is have it x-rayed and he can have the world record.
Yeah. Like, if that's all you have to do, and you know that's not real. That's not real.
I know. Everybody knows it's not real.
Like, that's just a wooden coat rack on top of a deer's head. That's all that is. That's not a real white-tailed deer. There's no way.
If it is, man, like
If he
there's
is,
kind
he's
of this part of me that hopes that it is, just because like
It
then he's not
100%
doing
is
it for the
not.
notoriety and stuff. But it looks pretty fake.
I don't know. All I know is I feel as if almost anybody, if they had that deer and they were getting as much pressure from the outside as what he did about getting it tested to see if it's real, because everybody's got the question. Everybody was asking, is it real or is it not? Get it x-rayed. It would stop all debates. But
He
the
says
fact
it
that,
doesn't matter to him.
but I get it. But then don't
Bull crap.
advertise that you have the world's largest buck, because you
Because
can't.
he's lying.
You can't say that you, in my opinion, you can't say that you have the world's biggest buck and say that you don't care about it, and that's why you don't want to get it tested. You don't care about the notoriety of having the world's biggest buck, and that's why you won't get it tested yet.
You claim that you have
You
the world's
claim
biggest buck.
you claim that you have the world's biggest buck. Like, you got to back it up. You got to back up your words. If you're gonna claim it, you got to back it up. But that's just
I
my
don't
2
know,
cents.
man. Like the different scandals that there are in
Especially
big deer,
now.
it's like, on the Bear Grease podcast, the guy that shot that buck on Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. Did y'all hear that story? Like, that was
No.
crazy.
No. What about the CJ Alexander thing?
Is that the
Ohio.
Hollywood buck?
No. I don't know about Hollywood.
Is that like the name of the buck?
It's the one that
Yeah.
was killed in Ohio
Oh, okay.
last year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Hollywood buck was one that was killed in a cemetery in Virginia this
No,
year, in like
yeah.
a national cemetery.
Hmm.
And the guy claimed he shot it like 19 miles away from there. And a guy had a trail camera picture of it like that morning.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's like, that'd be strange if it made it that far.
Right? Oh, man.
But they're investigating him on a bunch of other big deer that he's killed as well, thinking that he might have killed them in places he wasn't supposed to.
Oh, so he's hunting where he's not supposed to be. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was faking deer. I thought that's what you were saying.
No, he was just hunting where he wasn't supposed to be. And
Interesting.
I seen an article the other day, too, about these guys in New York State, because they have such strict regulations on where they're allowed to hunt at. These guys would pose as young girl photographers in, like, Facebook groups, wildlife groups, and find out where these deer were at by saying, like, they wanted to take pictures of them. And then they would go in, and they had walking sticks that they had hollowed out, and they would put their arrows in the walking sticks, and they had those, like, little PSE stinger bows, and they would put them in their backpack, and they would go in and shoot these giant buck, like, in these areas that you aren't allowed to hunt. And, like, it was
What?
a whole ring, man. Like, it was crazy.
What?
Where was this at?
In New York State.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they
People
were going to these
posing as
parks and, like,
photographers going onto land where there's big bucks just so they can allegedly take pictures of these deer. And they're sneaking in bows and arrows to go hunt them.
Yep.
Oh, if that's not
Yeah,
from
it-
New York, I don't know what is.
It was a very elaborate plan. I mean, I'm not mad.
I wonder how many they got.
I don't know, but like they'd killed some big uns.
I mean, what do you do in that situation after you kill it? You can't tag it, can you?
But yeah, you just say that you shot it somewhere else, man. Killed that on the back 40.
It's amazing how quickly people can just lie and just not even bat
Think
an eye.
twice. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
That's why they need to go back to that physical check-in station.
I loved that personally. I still check mine in at the gas station if I'm down close to one, to be honest with you.
Yep. That's having to take it somewhere to be checked, and everybody there to look at everybody's deer and everything. They need to bring it back.
Yeah, instead of this tag before you drag crap.
Well, I mean, even if they just went to straight physical tags, then have to take it in to be checked physically.
Yeah. A lot of states are like that.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was a kid in PA, bears, you weren't even allowed to field dress them. You had to take them full to a check station.
Jeez.
Why
Yep.
was that?
Make sure you weren't baiting.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Cut him open and
Corn falling out. I don't know. What do you bait
All
deer
jelly
with?
donuts and maple syrup come rolling out of his belly.
They cut me open, that'd be me.
Is that actually what you bake corn? Is that actually
They're
what you
like big
bake?
coons, dude. They'll eat anything like
Yeah,
that.
man, anything sweet. If you can put something sweet out there, they'll be in there to check it out.
Shoot, I might be down there eating with him.
He
Throw out
said, "Catch me at the
some
bake
Snickers.
pile."
That's why I used to coon hunt a lot when I was in high school, and we used to have some bait barrels, and we'd go, we'd take the young dogs there, where they could get on a hot coon or whatever.
Mhm.
We'd buy 50-pound bags of these M&Ms from a guy here in locally.
50-pound bags
Yeah, and we'd eat
of
them.
M&Ms,
Yeah,
like the
They-
chocolate treat.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the shell on them though. They would just be the chocolate, but they're it was an M&M, but they just didn't have the shell on them. I don't know where he got them, but
Do you know where this guy is?
dude, we'd eat them all the time. I did.
Heck yeah.
Because the first time we went and got a couple bags of them, I looked at my buddy. I'm like,
I'd be sick.
dude, these smell so good. Can we eat them? He was like, yeah, I eat them all the time.
I knew a guy that was getting peanut butter in 50-gallon drums.
I wonder if bear eat peanut butter the same way dogs
Oh,
do.
Lord,
Where
yeah.
they get it stuck on the roof of their mouth and they freak out. That would be a funny video if somebody could get that on video.
I honestly don't know an animal that don't like peanut butter.
Yeah, that's what I kill mice with.
It's pretty good stuff.
Speaking of which, dude, I finally have gotten rid of all the mice from this year. Every year, springtime. I don't know if you deal with this too, Terry. Every year in the springtime, right around this time, right around March, April.
Dude, you got to get you a freaking registered freaking barn cat, dude.
Little barn cat. Well, my neighbor's got like 3. I figured, and they roam my yard all the
Oh,
time.
he's feeding them too much. You got to let them. They got to be a little
Fend for
hungry.
themselves.
Dude,
Yeah.
one of his cats is a toad. It's this big old orange cat. I call him Garfield. A toad, bro. I'll never forget. He jumped up onto my trash can one day and dented the lid of my trash can. I was like,
Last year, remember that? I relocated a cat that was getting in my trash to a undisclosed area, and I went to this undisclosed area this past week. Saw that cat.
no, still there?
100%, yeah. And me and him
Heck
locked
yeah,
eyes,
man.
and like he
Cats
looked
are
at
survivors.
me like you
They're killers.
freaking.
Yeah, they are.
Are you a cat guy?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
I
That's why
like
when
cats.
you said to get a barn cat, my instant thought was those videos I keep seeing from Scotland with like the little rat terriers. And like they flip over a hay bale and let the rat terriers go.
Rat terriers. Isn't that
Yeah,
a dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, little dogs.
Dude,
And
they're
like-
like. Have you never seen those videos?
No, I don't know. what
Dude,
you're
it's
talking about.
awesome. They got
It's the
ferrets
coolest
too that
thing.
do it.
I've seen the ferrets. That's actually super fun to watch.
So imagine that, but with like a whole pack of dogs.
Okay. I mean, how big are these dogs?
They're rat terriers.
Dude,
I
they're
don't,
little
I
bitty.
don't know what a rat terrier is. Is it like similar to the size of a Boston Terrier?
No, it's probably like a little bit bigger than a Chihuahua.
Yeah, so pretty similar to the size of a Boston
Yeah,
Terrier.
it's a
then.
little lap dog.
Oh, okay.
But they are like on crack all the time.
And they, and they just
Aren't they, Terry?
send them
Dude,
after
it's
rats.
so awesome.
So they're a
I-
hunting dog, but for rats.
Squirrel dog,
Yeah.
rat
They're
dog.
a squirrel dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. Rat terriers. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how the algorithm thought that was a good thing for me, but I'm so glad that it did. Because like that is one of my favorite things to watch.
By the way, that's one of my favorite accents in the whole world.
What?
Like Scotland, Ireland,
Yeah,
Irish,
Conor McGregor.
Irish, Scottish accents. Like
it's not an accent. That's a brogue.
what? A brogue?
Brogue.
Brogue.
Yeah,
What
that's
is-
what they call their accent.
So it's an accent, but they call it a
Yeah.
brogue.
Yep.
So it's an okay. So
What
I'm gonna
is-
continue to call it an accent.
That's because you're from the South, boy.
Yeah, well, I just string all my words together like this. Anyway, dude, Appalachian accents, I can't understand them.
Dude, Louisiana, like deep in Louisiana, they are hard to understand.
Yeah, they are. But boy, do they have some good old crawfish.
Oh, man, they got some
Not
good.
this year. They don't.
Not this year?
No, man. Like, there's something happened down there. There's a shortage of crawfish.
Bro.
What, dude?
Shortage of crawfish.
Dude, you never used to hear the word shortage until like the last 3 or 4 years. Like I'm so like
Now it's
No,
just
like
an
there was
excuse.
some kind of like bad
COVID ruined
temperatures
everything.
or rain or something flooded it out, and like they had the worst harvest of crawfish they've ever had.
golly.
Interesting.
Remember we had a shortage of toilet paper?
Yeah, that was. Which I only.
Hey, I'll never let them catch me like that again. I'm gonna build a wall of toilet paper in there. You never know.
That's funny, dude. I buy toilet paper maybe
Dude, it was just
3
funny to me
times-
that people that like,
3 times a year.
you know, they would go buy like 6,700 rolls, and it's like,
What are you doing?
what? Like,
Of course, there's
They
a
got enough
shortage.
for the rest of their life.
yeah.
Like, we'll never have to worry about a toilet paper shortage.
Apparently,
again.
and now, you know, you remember when you worked at Academy, it was the same thing with like ammo. It was like,
Oh, dude, people lined up around the door.
I know I was one of those
Right.
people, but it was just like I don't know why. A lot of people were reselling ammo, but
Yeah, I feel like ammo is probably a safe buy.
yeah,
You can sell it for the same amount you bought it, pretty much.
yeah. But all they had to do
But
is attach
TP
that word shortage to anything, and it's just like people start freaking losing their
Well, and
minds.
then supply and demand. People are like, "Oh man, there's low supply, so we need to buy."
Yeah,
it
let's
up."
go buy everything.
Yeah, let's just make the problem
I
worse.
usually buy a 6-pack of toilet paper in a week's time, but
I wonder.
they
If,
say shortage, and you're like calling the U-Haul, like,
I wonder
Better
if
buy the
back
48
in.
pack this week.
yeah.
I wonder if back in 2020 you could have sold like secondhand TP.
Oh, dude, I about guarantee. Yeah.
No, man, the bidet like just
Toilet paper
took
only
off in
used
the United
once,
States.
just like new.
Only used once.
Put back into original packaging. Still have the original box.
But man, you still got the other side.
I mean, like, even, like, I don't know. Like, they, like, brainwash people because even I was like, you know, I was cool the whole way through it, but there was a few times where I was like, dang, this
Getting low.
yeah, this might be an issue for me here comes shortly.
Well, there wasn't a shortage on baby wipes, was there?
No.
I feel like
can't
that's
flush 'em.
I feel like that's a pretty good backup.
You know how I roll.
Oh yeah, bro. Listen, I ain't got no problem with using a baby wipe after a good wipe.
No.
I think it's
man,
I think it's quite
Can't
hygienic.
flush them though. It's the septic system ruiner.
Yeah, you got to throw them in the trash can.
Do you?
100%.
Michael's over like, dude, I've been flushing them shits.
What? Nah.
Dude, that will freaking jack your pipes up, bro.
I've absolutely been flushing them.
I'm telling you, dude.
I just bought some that said they dissolved in water.
It'd be
and
like
I-
trying to flush a basketball down the dang pipes.
Nah, bro. Ooh,
Even the flushable ones, you're not supposed to.
I definitely think I made a mistake. Sunday. So I was painting some pieces for a new desk, and I had a bunch of paint in this container that I was using left. So I poured as much as I could back into the can, and then I took the rest of it to the sink and started draining it, like rinsing it out and draining it down the sink. The next morning, I went to go do my dishes, and I have this like a strainer piece that like keeps junk from falling down into the sink. It was clogged shut, like solid shut from the paint. Like the paint had dried on it, and I had to get pliers to pull it out. It was like dried shut. Dude, that paint was like a 1/4 inch thick, solid
That's
layer.
long enough.
And as soon as I saw that, like it took me like not as soon. It was like 5 minutes after I pulled it out. I'm like doing the dishes. I'm just whatever. I was like, wait, I absolutely rinsed way more paint down this sink than what's on the top right here. I was like, my plumbing is screwed. My plumbing is screwed.
Well, you just made the ID a lot smaller in your pipes.
So, you got any plans for this upcoming deer season? You got any trips planned or deer that you're hunting?
Probably still hunt the same old trusty property. You know,
Yeah.
it's been good to me the last few years. You know, this past year got my biggest archery buck ever, and
You talking about the trailer park?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I can't wait to get him back from the taxidermist.
Heck yeah. So you're going to be hunting the trailer park. You got a buck on camera that you're going for that might have lived last year or something?
Well, there's Theismann. I don't know if he made it for sure, but he was alive at the end of deer season, so he made it through deer season, but
no telling if he'll make it to the next one.
Really hoping to get on him. But yeah, the buck from last year, getting ready to, once we get him back, get him officially scored. See if he makes that Mystic Pope and Young.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think he'll score?
So I've scored him twice with tape, and the taxidermist scored him with one of those raculators. We got 134 and just over 133, and then the raculator was 126 and 7/8.
Okay.
So
he's got to be 130, right?
No, 125.
125.
Ooh.
Yep. So I think he'll make it. 115 makes the all-time book for Tennessee for archery. So
sweet.
I know he'll be in there, but hoping that the Pope and Young score sticks.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I'm definitely rooting for you. I hope it sticks as well. Hope you get that buck that you're going for this year too. What'd you call him?
Theismann. He's got a broken back leg.
Oh yeah, isn't this the one that you and Wes saw a couple seasons ago that was running around?
Yeah.
It was like the first time you saw him or something.
That was one of the bucks that he was a young buck then. That's like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he broke his leg that year. And I'd kind of made the decision that if I had a chance to shoot him, I would, because of how badly broken his leg was. And
right.
It still looks pretty gnarly, but it's healed up to the point where he gets around on it. And I mean, he made it 3 years with it. So
nice.
He's got to be at least a 5-year-old now. And this year he should be, hopefully he's huntable.
Man, deer are persistent. They are persistent. Will to survive. The will to survive. It's a powerful thing. Well, right on, Terry. We do appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure always.
Absolutely. If anybody wants to give you a follow on socials, where can they find you?
Instagram, TN_shores_outdoors.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Be sure to go show Terry some love, y'all. Give him some follow. Don't make fun of me. I stuttered.
Go show some Terry love.
Go show some Terry love.
Yeah. We'll accept it all.
Yeah. Anyways, we appreciate everybody tuning in and listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.